Well, on my mind today, I guess it's just trying to capture some of the experiences on and how I've interacted. I guess I wanted to talk about Snapchat for a minute. Snapchat, have you guys? Snapchat is amazing, especially if you have kids. If you're trying to reach your kids and kind of connect with what they're going on, because like I have young kids and I have a daughter. I have two daughters. I have the older one who loves Snap. She's young as well, and a son, high school. Both my kids will be in high school next year. My youngest two, and they all love Snapchat. And I used to think Snapchat was just goofy, but I wanted to, for like parents out there, I guess, a way to connect with your kids and through Snapchat. The great thing about it is you can use these filters and faces and emotions to kind of express what's kind of going on with you without having to talk, really. You know what I'm saying? So think about that. I mean, that's pretty powerful for a kid. Like, because you can, if your parents is sitting on the other side and they're not wanting to read too much into it and just let you have your, because it's important to let them feel whatever it is they're dealing with and going, themselves. So you don't want to take that away from them by any means, but you can also let them know that they're not alone and that you're there for them if, they need someone to come talk to. And Snapchat's a great way to do that with them because you can sit there and just go back and forth, back and forth. Like I've sat there with my daughter, literally in the same room when we were alone just to pass the time. And we're just shooting each other back and forth pictures, And you start to see the pattern there over a period of, a handful of snaps, really. And you can also start to see that pattern change the longer you do it. And you can see their spirits start to lift or their, whatever's bothering them start to kind of not seem so big or intense. My wife is phenomenal at it. She will spend hours on the couch with both my kids. And they're just snapping. And a lot of people look at that and just think, oh, they're just sitting there, they're not interacting with each other, they're not connecting. But in reality, they are connecting. They're using it in a different way. That's the phenomenal thing about kids these days. They see so many more possibilities than like our generation, or at least mine. We just see it as an extended kind of phone, like the idea of reaching out because you need to contact someone, spit a whole bunch of information to them, and then vice versa, and then going about your life. Like our approach is different. The kids, they don't, uh, and it's what they're doing anyway. So you got to find a way. If you're gonna be a part of their world, you got to find a way to get in there. And like my wife figured that out a while back, so I learned a lot from that. And when I started doing, um, this across different platforms and stuff like that, I didn't interact with Snapchat as much because it's a lot harder to connect to Snapchat on a deep level, I guess, because Snapchat's all about quick, and fast interactions. But I did connect with a few people in that way but it just took the relationship a lot more time to develop. Is what I'm saying. It might have started off with a comment or a like weeks ago on a story or a post, and then maybe it was a sharing of pitch. You know what I'm saying? It just took a lot longer to make that connection. But if you're willing to do that, you know, if you're willing to take the time and do that, because that's the platform that the person you're trying to reach interacts with the most, then there's a way to do that as well. You just got to be a little more patient and willing to, well, I mean, you got to be sincere. You can't skip ahead or it won't work. So it really just depends on what you're trying to do. If you're truly trying to connect with, a child, then of course it's worth it. Anyway, just wanted to put that down. Just thought about that. I don't interact with Snapchat as much, so I was afraid I might move on because I don't see interacting with it as much. Well, not except for like me personally, obviously, like with my own kids or something. But it's because, like I said, that does develop over the course of time. That's a really intimate. Uh, it seems silly and short and sweet, but what makes it so intimate is you've got to put in the time to develop the relationship you want over or with that person. That's what makes it kind of unique. But it can become very intimate just because of how it progresses. Anyway, thanks guys. Bye.